Hello, it's Alex Goodall here, and today I'm reviewing a product called Social CPA Academy. The essence of this product is that you're going to be using Facebook ads to promote CPA offers. It doesn't have to be CPA offers, but that's the recommended approach. And also building a list and also mailing to the list to improve the conversions. I'm not an expert in this field, I admit, but it appears to be a slightly different approach to what many other people have taken. And it's based on a particular person who's made this work. It's a guy called Jason Richardson. Interestingly, Jason, he graduated and didn't have a job and decided to get into internet marketing to try and build up an income. He stumbled across the Warrior Forum, as many people do, and he bought a WSO. I assume he bought many WSOs, as we all do, but he picked one and followed it through and found that it worked. So guys, don't be too dismissive about WSOs and product launches. If you follow them through, they do work, or they can work if they're the right sort of systems. Anyway, he followed this through and he made, according to this headline, so far $300,000. This is over a period of 18 months, and built a list of 120,000 people, which actually is pretty impressive. So what this product is about is Jason explaining his system. Now this is the sales page at the moment. I don't know if it's going to change when it actually launches. Yeah, I think this is it. And well, you can read it. I won't go through the sales page with you, but it's a 12 module video course. Actually, I found 13 modules, so there's 13 modules in there. We'll have a look at those in a minute. Going through the system, the price, I believe, I was going to say $27. Actually, it's $24.95, or it will be when it launches. Retail price $127. I don't think so. I think it's going to go up to $47. So you get it at a good price, best price. You get it right in early, $24.95. But even at $27, it's a pretty good price. So let's take a look at the members area. So here I am in the site itself, the members area site, and there is the inevitable follow-up webinar that you'll be invited to when you join. So we're now on to 7 million CPA offer as opposed to 300,000. This is by Bob Patrick, another member of the team, I guess. Obviously I've not seen that, so I can't make any comment about it, but I suspect you're going to be sold some additional material on that, as is usual. And then we get the introduction to the system itself. So here's a little intro from Jason, gives just a little bit of background about himself and shows what he's achieved. And then we go to the, you can start the course, and here you can see all the modules, and there are in fact 13 modules. By the time you get to module 11, unless they've fixed it, it doesn't take you on to the next. I'll show you what I mean, hold on. Right, this is module 1. For each module, by the way, they're listed as with a difficulty. They're all rated as beginner level. I'll say something about that in a minute. You've got a link here to take you to the next video. Just to warn you, by the time you get to video 11, okay, unless they fix this. Oh, sorry, I thought they'd added an extra video since I looked at this. Bear with me a second. I'm trying to get to module 11. Okay, I've got to module 11. I just wanted to point this out. I'm making rather a big issue of this. In module 11, this link says member home, whereas, don't be misled, there are in fact 2 other modules, module 12 and module 13, tracking and email training. So you get 13 modules. I'm not going to go through them all in detail, but just to tell you something about the nature of the course, what I like and what I don't like about it. First of all, you're paying $27, possibly less, and if you get in later, possibly more, but at most $47 for this training. And it's training for a business system that, if you apply it, could make you a huge amount of money. Now, in 13 modules, reasonably short videos, not a lot of, well, there are no sort of supporting links given. I have to say the training hasn't been put together in a particularly careful way. I mean, in as much as I think it could be expanded to maybe 3 times as many modules, with sort of PDF support and more additional guidance and maybe some templates. There is quite a lot more that could have been done to give more information. However, certainly for $27, it's a pretty good course. But don't be misled by the relatively small number of videos and the shortness of the videos and the way that Jason really rattles on through it. This is a substantial business model. There's a lot of detail that actually Jason gives. You will need to make very careful notes. He goes through the stuff. He says a lot of really valuable bits of information, almost as a by the by. He actually does go through and try and recap stuff, because I think he realizes he's maybe not put enough effort into saying some of the things that he needs to say. So he does do some useful recaps. But I just really want to say this is a big business model where you can make a huge amount of money if you apply it. But don't expect to learn everything there is to learn from this one small introductory set of videos. You'll get enough to be able to get the gist of it. Jason doesn't go into the details of how to use the Facebook Ads Manager. It doesn't give you a lot of detailed how to. He talks more at the strategic level, which, if you're reasonably experienced, is probably what you want, so that you don't have to sit through hours of boring, I clicked here, I clicked there, I clicked there. You can figure that stuff out for yourself. Then what you're getting is good, high-level strategy stuff, explaining how his particular approach works, which is actually, I found, quite interesting. Quite a lot of effort on market research, some good stuff on testing, very interesting stuff on scaling. Again, I'm not an expert in this field, but it seemed to me that approach to scaling is pretty straightforward. Jason likes to keep his whole system simple. There's quite a lot of work involved, detailed work involved in doing the scaling and in fact doing the testing. So there's quite a lot of grunt work involved, but that's the nature of most IM businesses. There's an interesting section on systems and automation, which I quite liked. He gives some hints as to how you can go about automating stuff, basically by writing procedures and outsourcing the details. Having understood a little bit about how his system works, it's very clear he wouldn't be able to have built up his business to that size by doing everything himself. So he's obviously a serious outsourcer. And he talks a little bit more about systems and automation continued. There's a couple of videos on that, which I found helpful. They're all short videos, as you see, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I think 7 minutes is probably one of the longest ones. So, the summary, what you're getting is a sort of high-level strategy and direction for the business model. There is a lot of stuff behind that. Some of the stuff you'll have to work out for yourself. But all in all, I think if you want to get into Facebook advertising and CPA, this is a really interesting way to do it. And the final, he doesn't talk much about the emailing side of things, except on the last video where he gives, again, it's only 7 minutes long. So he gives a bit of a run through of how he uses email to boost conversions. Doesn't say much about sort of follow-on mailing. If he's got a list of 120,000 people, I'd have thought there's a huge amount of scope for writing follow-on email sequences. He doesn't talk about that. He just talks about a sort of couple of email follow-ups just to increase his conversions. But there's huge scope there for additional income. Maybe that's where some of his $300,000 comes from. I don't know. But there we are. That's it for the front end system. The done for you, let me say a little bit about that. The done for you OTO gives you 5 different niches: coupons, radios, groceries, just fab. And what you get in each case is the ads, ad copy and an image. You get document with interests. I think you get a great deal of that. Maybe you get 4 or 5 interest words to target. You get, this is very useful, a landing page and a thank you page. Let's look at one of those examples. There you are. That's what one of the landing pages looks like. Let's see another one. Yeah, and there you'd put the code for your autoresponder. Your form code would go there. So you would need to design a suitable looking form. That's another example of a landing page. This is in this case for samples. Now this is rather more sophisticated. I think this looks quite advanced. If you imagine putting that together yourself, would take quite a lot of effort. So you're getting something I think quite substantial with the done for you systems. So as I said, you get the again, let's look at examples. You get the ads. Actually, let's look at an image of an ad. Okay, you can see them there. There, professional looking images that you get. So you get the ads, the interest, the landing page, and the offer list. And the offer list is actually a selection of offers that you can make, CPA offers that you would associate with your campaign, that your ad would lead to. So I think the done for you OTO is actually pretty good. The case study OTO, here I have my reservations, I have to say, because what you get there, and there's a good pitch on the OTO sales page, but what you actually get is just 2 videos. Now Jason does go into his campaign in some detail, and he does explain about how he does his initial testing. There is some useful information there, particularly about specifically how he does his scaling. There is a video in the main course about scaling, but he goes into exactly how he uses it in his particular case on this case study. So I think if you really are very serious about following this business model, then you probably should get this OTO, even though I think for what's being charged, I won't say what it's being charged, they may adjust it. But have a look and see if you get to see that OTO, whether you really think it's worth it. Personally, I wouldn't get it right away. I'd assuming it's not going to be available a little later on. If you find that you after looking through the initial training that you do decide to go down this route and do this seriously, then probably pay for this upgrade, this OTO as well. Other OTOs, the advisor, I think that's the special software. I think that's the spy software, I'm not sure. I haven't got access to that, so I can't tell you about that. Okay, I think that's all I want to say about this product. It's a really interesting business model. As with all of these, there's a lot of potential. Be warned, you won't make a fortune overnight. It took Jason 18 months to build up his business. Well, obviously less than 18 months, but after 18 months he'd got 300,000 profit, which is good. There is work involved. There is a lot to learn. Again, don't be misled by the relative simplicity of just going through 13 training modules. There's a lot of detail behind each of those that you will need to get into. There we go. Good product. If you don't have a business model in place, then this is a serious one to consider. If you're following a business model already, stick to what you're doing. That's always my advice. Thanks for your time.